Psalm 64:8. So they shall make their own tongue to fall upon themselves. All that see them shall flee away. Kol halo Yahweh Bahasham Yahweh Shai Bahasham Rakah Kwadash. Double honors unto the apostles, double honors unto the elder bishops. Salutations to all my fellow laborers doing this work in truth and sincerity, risking their lives and their freedom to do so, now more so than never. Right, the 144,000, the would-be judges, and the scattered elect that are scattered around the four corners of the earth among the heathen nations. They have the appearance of those heathen nations, the Israelite foreigners. And to the few Akwath that are listening and learning, to you I say Shalom. This is your brother Malcolm from the branch of the Great Millstone here in Chicago, coming at you with another lesson in truth. Right, a house divided cannot stand. And Professor Richard Wolff, you can see the title of the video at the bottom of the screen. So, and I usually do that. I would probably say about 95% of the time I do that. So, you don't have to ask. All I have to do is look at the bottom of the screen on my videos. I often, make sure that the title of the video is in there so you can go and find it and watch it for yourself. But Richard Wolff is, one of many of the Edomites who've been sounding the alarm, which, from the apostles to the elder bishops on down to the, my fellow laborers and the younger and the newer brothers that's doing this work, have been, mainly those of the Great Millstone, because, these other camps, they don't really do this sort of thing. They don't go in prophecy the same way as we do. All right. Nevertheless, many of them are still pushing, Yahweh Shai, and that the Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, and the scattered, are the Israelites. So, salute to those who do that. But Richard Wolff is one of the many of Edomites who've been sounding the alarm of the demise of his own people and the demise of the American empire, which is the last empire, which is the whore that's set upon the beast. Let's see if we can pull her up real quick. This is a chat. This is the best one I've ever seen. Best one I've ever seen. All right, because you can see she's sitting upon the beast. You can't see all the seven heads, and you do see they got way too many horns. But nevertheless, there's more than 10 horns. But with the suits in the back and the beast sitting in the blood and in the waters, and the waters being the people that are being used and destroyed by this beast to keep the people at the top super wealthy. They're all wearing suit and ties with red penises hanging from their necks. That's what the tie is a phallic symbol. And they're all Edomites. And this is from ChatGPT. So this is showing you that Esau, Edom rules the world. It tells you in Isaiah, all right, that the Lord returns to a world ruled by Edom. All right. And all the nations of the world have gotten wealthy with this beast, which America sits at the top of, not Iraq or Iran. They try to make Iran it, okay? And everyone sleeps with this. This woman sleeps with everybody. She's like an attractive, popular porn star that has a huge fan base, and everybody goes to see her and watch the movies and stuff. Meanwhile, this woman is ruining lives, destroying lives, and giving people big diseases with little names. All right? And America right now is one great big diseased whore. All right? And it finds that it's two new guys in control. Well, you're the DOG, Department of Government Efficiency, or what I refer to him as the assistant president, whose son mouthed it and told Trump to hush. My dad is speaking. You're not the real president. Out the mouth of babes. But I'm going to let Richard Wolff speak for about 2.5 minutes, and everything he says can be pretty much proven. All right. So, without any further ado, Professor Richard Wolff. I actually like Richard Wolff.
Is pure ideology. And for all the talk about how Trump and Elon Musk, are breaking the mold and breaking the rules and taking the Republican Party in a new direction, the truth is the Republican Party has always hated taxes. That's how they built the Republican Party. It's a coalition between the business community, which doesn't want to pay taxes, and a whole lot of special constituencies which are brought together in the Republican Party with a deal. We'll give you the special thing you're interested in if you make sure to keep the taxes on business low.
Now let me fill in the gap real quick before I let him continue. The Republican Party today, all right, was the old Democratic Party of the time of slavery. They switched places. Because you will hear people say, because it's fact, it was the Democratic Party that was behind slavery. It was a Democratic Party that was behind the Jim Crow laws and redlining and all of that. Okay, that was the Democratic Party that was up behind all the hanging and the oppression, back in the day. Okay, from that 1870 period to that 1970 period. And that's a lesson within itself. He did another video where he talked about that. All right. And because there's something that happened around 1969, 1970 that's affecting the world today spiritually. Right. That's another lesson. But they swapped. Okay. So a lot of Jake ran with the Democratic Party because up to the time where Jake was given the freedom to actually vote and all that stuff, they saw the Republican Party as their oppressors. All right. So all they did was they switched places. The new Republican Party was the old Democratic Party. That's all it is. All right. Because they'll throw in your face, don't you know it was the Democratic Party that did this and did that. But when you look at the policies and the things that they're doing, they just swapped. All right. And when you look at it, neither one is for you. You got a good cop and a bad cop game going on here. There are two wings on the same hateful bird when it comes down to the nitty gritty of the thing, to the pure essence of the thing. There are two wings of the same hateful bird. They're going to pin you down with their talons, rip you to pieces with those talons, and rip you to pieces with that sharp beak. All right. And that's exactly what they do to the people. Just like that beast we were looking at a few minutes ago.
So the Republicans pander to white supremacists, and the Republicans pander to gun enthusiasts, and the Republicans pander to the anti-abortion fight. These are their constituencies who come together in the Republican Party, and the deal is you support anti-taxes, and we will help you with the guns and the fundamentalist Christianity and all the rest of it. Okay, we all know that.
Just solidify what I said.
Trump and Musk are doing is cutting taxes. How are they doing it? By laying off millions of public employees.
Look at the faces of the majority of the people that they show when he says that. All right, there's a lot of women, a lot of Edomites. Women got caught up in that because they're considered minorities too. But you best believe if you do a deeper dive into the people that were released, the majority of them were Negroes, especially Negro men that work for the government. You best believe that. And they're going to hide those statistics from you. Eventually, they'll come out too. Truth always surfaces.
Who, if you don't have to pay them, well, then you don't have to raise the taxes. They're all worried sick about one thing. No one should make a mistake. When Mr. Trump was president the first time, the one major economic act of his first presidency was the tax cuts of December 2017. One of the greatest tax cuts in American history, focused mainly on cutting corporate taxes and taxes of the rich. that act included that all of this would come to an end. Remember, it was back in 2017, in 2025, this year. So Mr. Trump's real agenda, he hasn't discussed it much because he's got to kind of manage it. His real agenda is to extend those tax cuts, to rewrite that bill to make it last another 8, 10, 12, however many years he can get.
And America doesn't have that long. This is Isaiah 29:15. Woe unto them that seek deep to hide their counsel from Yahweh, and their works are in the dark, and they say, Who seeth us, and who knoweth us? Surely your turning of things upside down shall be esteemed as a potter's clay. But shall the work of him that made it, for the work of him say of him that made it, He made me not? Or shall the thing framed say of him that framed it, He had no understanding? So, Elon Musk is an atheist. He doesn't believe in the Lord, and he believes in science. Well, science is actually biblical. Science is actually spiritual. True scientists, real scientists, acknowledge that through their study in science that there had to be an original creator. All right? They talk about things in nature that just couldn't be on their own. Someone or something had to be the great designer, the architect, like they said in the Matrix. Something was the architect, and we know that architect was Yahweh. All right, who then gave that power unto Yahweh Shai, and Yahweh Shai and what did Yahweh Shai do? Yahweh Shai created the archangels and his elect in the beginning, and the elect are the elect among the children of Israel, the sons of Israel today. That's who they are. That's why it says, ye are gods, but ye shall die like men. All right, they were there in the beginning of creation. All right, and unlike, they don't share that with you in Christianity, but when you read Genesis, when it says God, that word is plural. That's Elohim. So the Most High created Yahweh Shai. Yahweh Shai created the archangels and the elect, and they together build and constructed everything you can see, hear, feel, and touch, taste. All right. They did that. All right, with Yahweh Shai at the head of it. That's creation. That's science. Science simply means to know. And we know the truth. Let's jump to the 11-minute mark. Right about here.
Look, you know this, but let me make it crystal clear. A country that suddenly turns on its allies and friends.
Ooh, let me pause that. Proverbs. Stupid move, no wisdom. Proverbs 21 and 30. And it reads, there is no wisdom, nor understanding, nor counsel against Yahweh. That also goes for your pseudoscience. Remember, Timothy in 1 Timothy 6 and 20 warned us that the current rulers, would come into power and would use false science, so-called, as a ruling point. All right, and that's exactly what these Edomites have been doing. Those who are joined with the horde that sits upon the beast. And now those nations are falling apart and turning their back on the lead country. All right, as he's going to speak. And they're all Edomites. And a house divided cannot stand.
Is a country in trouble. We don't need Canada to be the 51st state. Stop it. That's a desperate idea to get all of their wealth, to threaten them to get it so that they become inside, to snatch back the Panama Canal, which we gave to Panama and into which Panama...
How could you give something that already belonged to them? It's like me coming to your land, sitting on your land, and telling you, well, you know what? You can have this stream back. It was your stream in the first place. That's the pride of these Edomites. Like the scripture says, the pride of thy heart, meaning thy mind, have deceived thee.
Has invested billions of dollars saving the United States from having to do it, since we are the #1 user of the Panama Canal. This is silly. Throwing the entire Europe under the bus. What is this? I'm not defending Europeans.
They threw Europe under the bus when they destroyed that pipeline. And then get mad and say that Europe is not paying its fair, money to NATO and to support the armies and blah, 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 blah. But you threw them under the bus, America did, when they destroyed that pipeline and made many of their people die and freeze to death, and they've been struggling and their economies have gone down as a result of it. And you wonder why people are starting to side with China and Russia. This is Jeremiah 49:7. Concerning Edom, because Edom is a dumbass. Thus saith Yahweh of hosts, is wisdom no more in Teman? Is counsel perished from the prudent? Is their wisdom vanished? So there's no more wisdom among Esau, Edom, the so-called white man. They're just money-crazed, blood-crazed, power-crazed people who make foolish decisions, and they keep leaving the curtains open when they're doing that dirt, and people keep recording them. They keep getting caught.
I'm not celebrating Canadians, nothing, but I am aware that China's importance in the world keeps growing, not shrinking. The United States' footprint in the world keeps shrinking, not growing. And the desperation of a president who is going to make Canada a 51st state and snatch Greenland. What are you talking about? These are signs of desperation. Otherwise, you'd sit down with the relevant people in these places, talk about what you might like, see how they think about it, work out an agreeable compromise the way people do whose interests may clash from time to time.
All right, so what's happening is, like you said, these are signs of a failing and desperate empire. And the actions are clear and plain on the table. We're going to war. We're going to war with the rest of the world. There's going to be no peace. And now, he's trying to broker peace. It's funny. He's going to say it. He says it in this video, how now all of a sudden Trump's trying to sit down with Russia. Well, Russia's been trying to sit down with America and, for years now. Now all of a sudden they're trying to sit down with Russia. Why? Because Russia has all the cards. And the smart people at the top know that. But you know how that song go, too much, too little, too late? But this is 2 Ezra 13:31. And one shall undertake to fight against another, one city against another. All right, so you're going to have insurrections within both the Europe, what's left of the European Union, NATO, and here in America. All right, because all these job cuts and, I just watched a video that Lord's Well may do a respond to about the high level of repossessions that's happening. All right, and the guy gives a whole breakdown on how to handle repossessions the best way, and it's happening at the highest level with people who have 700 credit, that whole sort of thing. They're getting their cars repoed now, big time. It's happening. Okay. So, so this is going to the demise of these cities and the demise of their way of life. These people are going to fight one against another over food, over water, over resources, over race. All right. One place against another, one people against another, and one realm against another. It's getting ready to be an all-out chaos around the world, especially here in Babylon, which definitely spells Jacob trouble for those people who are foolish enough to fix their lips to say something otherwise.
Come on, we know what diplomacy is about and what it means. When the United States needs it, it's busy doing that. Suddenly, the Russians, with whom we could not have a conversation for years are the ones we're inviting. Please sit down with us. Please talk to us.
Don't beat
That's
our
what's
ass.
going on. Trump has invited them. Mr. Putin, to whom you couldn't speak, is now the buddy.
And then what did Trump do barely a year ago? He revealed the actual icons that predate the whitewashed racist, white superiority ideology, which is completely false, when he showed you all the dark images, the swarthy images of the Lord, the disciples, and the people of the Bible that were hidden in the vaults in Russia. Right? Why? Because when the Israelites were dispersed and scattered, well, they not only went to West Africa, but they went into Europe too, and they ruled Europe for 1,000 years after the fall of the Roman Empire. And Esau's been mad and angry. All right, those Israelites were the were the reason that Rome fell and took it over. All right, became emperors. You can look up in secular history the age of the they call them African emperors in Rome. No, they weren't African. They were Israelites. And that's the thing that they try to do. I always try to hide the Israelites, swarthiness behind African swarthiness. Two different races of people, not the same people. All right, two different races of dark people. And let me go ahead and pump out a receipt. All right. According to your own scholars, all right, actually according to the Bible, all right, Africans are Hamitic, Israelites are Shemitic, all right, not Semitic, but Shemitic, all right. There is no Sem in the Bible. There's no nation there's no people, no races, no Sem races. There's Shemite races. Sem is a made-up concept that they've attached to white superiority. It's false. It's a false ideology.
These are signs of desperateness that Trump has no interest in Russia. He has to do that because the United States has been, dare I say it, defeated.
Yep.
In Vietnam, in Afghanistan, in Iraq, and now in the Ukraine.
So, getting back to this, blood is getting ready to flow in the streets. That beast is losing power. And what's that saying what the hunters have? The most dangerous animal is one that's wounded, when it's got nothing else to lose. When it's cornered and it's hurt, it's going to go all out. And it goes into that survive, fight or flight, or it goes into that I'm going to take I'm going to take everyone and everything with me. Let's go to this will be the last scripture we'll cover. We'll wrap it up. This is Revelation 17 and 16. And it reads, matter of fact, I started 15 looking at this image. It says, and he saith unto me, the waters which thou sawest, where the whore sitteth, are peoples and multitudes and nations and tongues. You see the waters that she's sitting in with his blood, and all you see what? The population of the world ruled over by this beast. That people don't even wear the dress of their origin. Everyone wants to dress like these Edomites who are sitting at the top. It's easy to see who sits at the top. And then it tells you that Amalek will be the first of the nations. Amalek is ruling the world right now, disguised as Christians and Ishes and J-ish, J-double-O's. All right. Verse 16. And the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, these shall hate the whore. All right. So the power structures that the whore has been ruling, the whore being America, now hate her. So what's going to happen is this beast is going to buck this whore off of it, and they're going to rip her up to pieces and devour her diseased flesh. All right, because she's attractive. This woman is, fine AF. All right, But if you kiss her, you might get herpes in your mouth. You definitely don't want to go inside her, because you know her juices is like, you know, the juices at the bottom of a trash can. Yeah, you ever seen a juice leak out of a garbage truck? Yeah. It says, and the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast shall hate the whore, and shall make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh and burn her with fire. So the Lord is bringing destruction unto Babylon. So with that, I'm going to give all praises, all honor and glory unto Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shai Bahasham, Rakah HaKodash, Kwam Yasharallah, Abad Babal.